Happy Monday! Good afternoon, everybody. I know this is a little bit later than usual, and I wasn't even sure I was going to be coming on here today, but here I am. And today you guys are going to be my guinea pig because I'm making a recipe I've never made before in preparation for Thursday, which is Thanksgiving, and I'm going to be making pecan pie. I know I think pecan, however you say it. If you're from the north, if you're from Canada or northern states, you say pecan, but we're in the south. So pecan pie today. And I'm going to be making a homemade crust. And then all this is without any processed sugars. So what I'm going to be sweetening it with is maple syrup. And you guys, like I said, you're my guinea pig because I've never made it before. So we'll see if this works. Hi. Yes. Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. So if you see, I tried to study my recipe as best as I could so I could go off memory. But like I said, hey, Melissa, I will be looking at my computer, going back and forth. And then at the end, I haven't made it yet, so either later today, tonight, I'll take a picture of it and I'll give the census of how it tasted and if it is Thanksgiving worthy. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started because there's a little bit of just time heating the maple syrup. So we are going to, and I'll try and have the link posted on where I found this recipe. This is not my own recipe, but I really wanted to make a pecan pie for Thanksgiving. And apple pie, that's kind of when I think of Thanksgiving desserts, I always think of I think it was my grams that always made pecan pie. Anyway, so I am measuring out a cup of maple syrup because it needs to heat up. And then while that's heating, we'll make the crust. And the crust actually doesn't have to bake beforehand, so we'll just put it in the fridge so it will firm up. Okay, so I'm just putting the maple syrup in a medium-sized saucepan because evidently you have to add a little bit more ingredients a little bit down the road. So I'm gonna put that on the stove. And it says you want it to be around 100 or 225 on a thermometer. I don't really have a thermometer, so we'll eyeball it, we'll test it out. So while that's heating, I'm gonna go ahead and make the crust. So I've got 2 cups of almond flour and a 1/4 teaspoon of sea salt. And then we're also going to add some coconut oil and eggs. So I think it's 2 tablespoons of coconut oil and then just 1 egg. Okay. Mix that and the egg. So like I said, I wasn't sure if I was hopping on here or not today. I kind of wanted to show off my new pottery that my mother-in-law, she's very talented and very grateful that she sends us pottery. So I like the new red. So thank you, Connie. So we're waiting for that to kind of almost form a ball, and then we'll put it in the pie dish. Almost a ball, but not quite. So You should see all the dishes this talented woman makes me. Okay, so I'm just going to press this into my pie dish. I'm going to try and press it where it goes up the sides as well. I've been talking to a lot of people, seeing what their plans are. It sounds like there's just small gatherings happening for Thanksgiving, which I'm happy to hear that people are still seeing family during everything. So hopefully this works out and you decide you want to make a pecan pie. You'll take a picture and post it on our page or tell us how it went. Okay, I'm going to wash my hands off. So I'm going to put this in the fridge and then we'll get started on the rest of the good filling. Okay. Sorry, let's get make sure I'm following the steps. So I'm heating up the maple syrup right now. On this, it says it usually takes about 10 minutes. So we are going to move forward and we will, I don't know what size bowl to use. We're going to use a bigger bowl. This is also a bowl made by my mother-in-law. So we are going to, in this bowl, separate bowl, we're going to add half a cup of coconut sugar. And then I make ghee. Ooh, a bake-off challenge. That's a good idea. Too bad it wasn't today. We could be doing it simultaneously. Okay, so I am going to be adding 2 tablespoons of ghee or butter. You can use butter as well, but I always just have ghee. 2 tablespoons of that. And we're going to mix it together. I'm going to check on the syrup real quick. I'm not sure how essential it is for that to be exactly 225 temperature, but when I look at directions, it's usually recommendation. Nothing ever has to be perfect. If you're just starting out with cooking, I do recommend just following directions precisely, but don't just stop if you miss a step or whatever. That's one thing I find cooking can be very forgiving. Sometimes. When I was first starting out, I did throw away a brownie batch that I made with stevia. That takes a while to get used to with stevia. Okay, so we are going to, I think my maple syrup is probably done. I'd win. I don't know if I'd win. I've never made pecan pie, so we will see how this turns out. Okay. I'm waiting for the maple syrup and then I'm going to pour it in here and just let it sit for a minute and then add my eggs and my sea salt. And then I'm going to pour this over the filling. This just seems a lot more simple than what I always thought pecan pie was. Okay, so my maple syrup was boiling a little bit. It's hot. I don't know if it's 225, but we'll just say it is. Although I'm assuming when we start adding my eggs, we probably don't. So I'm just gonna let this sit. And, oh, thank you, Christy. I'm gonna let that sit for a minute. I'm going to drink my decaf coffee. And I'd love to hear if anybody's making any Thanksgiving dinner, if they're making something they've never made before. It's pretty standard for me to make something I've never made for some sort of gathering. So I'm always crossing my fingers that it's good and it's a hit. I know my family will eat whatever I make, no matter how pretty or ugly it turns out. So at least there's 3 other people that will eat this pie. Although my good friend she will probably eat it as well. Okay, I think it's been a minute, so we're gonna stir this a little bit. And then I'm gonna add the eggs and vanilla and sea salt. Although this is a problem. Whenever you add the eggs, I would add it 1 at a time. Actually, no, we're gonna add it all together because if you're putting it into something that's really hot, you don't want it to start cooking the eggs. So I'm gonna add the vanilla, which is a teaspoon, and then some sea salt. And then we're gonna add the eggs all together. And it is really, I highly advise cracking eggs in a separate bowl so you're not fishing out eggshells. Okay, so we are going to go ahead and mix this together and hopefully the egg won't cook. Nope, it's not cooking, so it's all good. So it's probably best to use a whisk for this, but I try to keep my baking and cooking whenever I'm making things 1 bowl, although I went through a lot of bowls today. 1 bowl and 1 spoon. So supposedly it's gonna be a little grainy. I think my egg might have cooked a little bit in here. I know there is a recipe, I should just make it on here another time. It's called Snicker Bites, raw Snicker Bites. They're delicious. I think I've talked about them here before. Very good, very addictive. This smells so good. It smells so good. Okay, so we're at my last step. So this says to cover crust with a pie shield or foil. I'm not sure what a pie shield is. Oh, okay. So I need to pour this and then top it with my pecans. Ugh. I don't know, it feels really runny, so I think the pecans will stay on top. They might sink. Like I said, it may not look pretty, but it already smells delicious. So I have high hopes that this is going to be a success. So with these, I'm assuming you want more of the pecan halves. this only bakes for 15 minutes on 400, and then after, well, no, I guess 30 minutes. After 15 minutes, you're going to, yeah, these nuts are, oh no, we got it. We got it. So you've got it, I've got preheating to on 400, it'll bake on 400 for 15 minutes, and then I'll decrease the time to 350 and then bake for another 30 or 15 minutes. This would have been a good job for the girls to do, put the pecans on. It's a great way to get kiddos involved, especially when you're making healthier choices. The more that they're involved in it, the more likely they are going to eat it as well. I think this calls for 1.5 cups of pecans, but obviously I'm not going to measure that out when all I'm doing is putting it on there. So pretty. Okay, this one was fun to make because I've never made it before. I really hope it turns out how I want it. Where are my girls? They are hanging out with a cousin. If you dare to leave your house, hockey is happening again, and as I think most of you know, my husband's originally from Canada, and we actually lived in Canada for 10 years together with a practice. And anyway, so we're into hockey. Hockey season starting, and we have a cousin that is playing close by in Greenville that we're very excited to go watch and see. So they are entertaining my husband's cousin. Okay, I mean, I'm going to say this is pretty, and I'm going to grab my phone so you can see how pretty it is, because I'm very proud of how it looks. Even though it's brown, presentation's pretty. Here we go. I mean, that looks good. That looks great. Okay, so I am going to put that in the oven, and let me make sure I've done everything. Yes. We'll see how this goes. So wish me luck. And like I said, I will post this online. I'll post the website and everything, but you guys were my guinea pigs. You did great. I think this is going to turn out amazing. And I will post the picture and the website that you can go and get the recipe. Thanks again, you guys, for watching, and I hope you have a happy Thanksgiving. Be safe, be healthy, and maybe make one thing for your Thanksgiving dinner that is healthier so your body can be the best shape that it can be. All right, thanks, you guys. I really appreciate it.